could crush one of those. That was so gay. Call it ninja low tapered fade the way it's so massive. I'm going to be breaking down the entirety of the UFC Fight Night Paris, France, Imavov versus Borralho card from the first fight of the night all the way to the main event of the evening of Nasruddin Imavov versus Kaue Borralho. Fighting Nerd versus French Doggy. Should be a banger. Huge middleweight title implications in this one. So make sure you hear my prediction at the end of this. But we are going to start with Shannon Bannon is taking on Sam Hughes to start the card. This is a missable fight. I'm not going to... Most of this card... By the way, this card is horrible. And it got worse. All right? I don't know if Losene's fight is on this card, is on this thing, but we are going to talk about it when we get there. It's the start of the main card. Shannon Bannon taking on Sam Hughes. Shannon Bannon, I broke this fight down in my head so many fucking times because it's the only one I fucking remember on the goddamn card. This card is horrible. Shannon Bannon. I know it's not her name, but that's what I call her because it's funny. All right? Shannon Bannon. So, she's not that good. All right? She got clipped really badly. Her last fight was against Pooja Tolmar. Big Pooj, but too bad Indian MMA is cursed. Pooja Tolmar sat her down very badly. Honestly, if I was the referee, I would have stepped in. She was out bad. But from the depths of hell, she somehow recovered just enough to throw up an armbar from bottom position. I think it was an armbar, could have been a triangle. Lands it on Big Pooch. Taps her out. Very, very nice come from behind victory, but she got clipped bad in that second round. This was in the second round. First round, and this is what I want to bring up. First round, I think she won that round based on pressure, but she was doing something with her striking, and this is something that we've seen her do before, is she kind of like goes on one foot like karate and then leads in and like jumps in and uses her lead foot as like a jab, like a sidekick jab kind of thing. I know Stephen Wonderboy has that as well, but he doesn't really use it as a jab. But it's like a lead side kick to the head, but she's using it as a jab, like as a rangefinder. Which against Big Pooj would work because I'm pretty sure Pooja Tomar is a striker. But Sam Hughes is a wrestler. And I think Shannon Bannon is going to get taken down very easily the second she attempts this, and she attempts it a lot. The second she does this, she's going to be taken down by Sam Hughes and going to be dominated. Sam Hughes, on the other hand, I don't fucking know who she fought, dude. I don't care. Sam Hughes is so boring and so awful. She's not a good fighter, but she's a can crusher for sure, and she can out-wrestle most of the strawweight division. I think she might be big for the division. Like, that's maybe her thing, is that she's, like, massive. The only thing I remember, like, my main sticking up memory, and I have one for Shannon Bannon as well, my main sticking up memory for Sam Hughes, her ginormous forehead. She has I just clicked off of that by accident. She has a ginormously large and massive forehead. It's kind of hard to see in the photos, but I'm going to try and find a picture of it and put it up right here. The thing for Shannon Bannon, I put it in every time she fights. I put in the clip every time she fights. I think I've put it in like 3 videos now, is her coach hitting his head off the camera. It makes me laugh so much. Play the clip.
Now it's going to start getting laboured. Oh, man.
Next fight. Welcome back. Funny clip, I know. Andreas Gustafsson is taking on Rinat Fakhretdinov in his second fight in the UFC. His first fight was boring as shit. He's like a crazy hyped up prospect. Bane, they call him. I couldn't be less excited to see this guy fight. He's not, like, I just don't, his style is so boring. He just hugged whoever his opponent was. It was like Chaos Williams, I think. Hugged him against the cage and won the fight on points. Boring as shit. Second on Rinat Fakhretdinov. I think Rinat's last fight was the Carlos Leal fight, bro. I've been trying to remember. Hang on. Yes, it was the Carlos Leal fight. He robbed the fuck out of Carlos Leal in that fight. By the way, that was like a year and a few months ago, I'm pretty sure. That was a long time ago, that fight. I don't know where Rinat Fakhretdinov has been. He also, like, I think he's a winner of a Guram Kutateladze. Not that impressive. Guram's kind of a can. This dude's 23-1. Rinat Fakhretdinov is 23-1. He's not good. This fight also kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie. Both of these dudes are like point fighters, you know? They're decision merchants. I think I'm going to go with Andreas Gustafsson. I feel that seeing a Muslim man makes his blood boil. If you know, you know. We're going to move on to the next fight here. Brad Tavares versus Robert Brzyk. Who? Brad Tavares, I know. He retired and now he's not. I don't know what happened about that. Or he got cut from the roster last time he fought. He got cut from the roster. I don't even fucking remember who it was against. He's decent, bro. He's all right. I forget. I seen someone talking about, I don't fucking remember. This fight sucks. Who cares? Brad Tavares is going to win because I've never heard of Robert Brzyk in my life. Who has he fought? Let's see. Let's check his record here together. He's 0-1 in UFC against Ihor Potieria. They gave him Brad Tavares. Holy shit, Brad Tavares, easy win. That's so free. That is so free. Next fight, Sam Patterson. Actually, excited to see this fighter. He's fighting Trey Waters. Sam Patterson is criminally underrated. By the way, has UFC tattooed on his arm. I'm seeing that right now. That's embarrassing. I don't even like when people get the championship. Because I know, doesn't Poatan on his bicep have the championship tattooed? I know Amanda Nunes has it. Does Valentina have it? I don't think so. I hate that. Has some individuality, bro. Don't get your company tattooed. Nowhere else in the world is that happening. Nowhere else in the world are you getting your company that you work for tattooed on you. Imagine some insurance dude has TD tattooed on him. I can honestly, you know what? Maybe I'm speaking too soon. Maybe I'm judging too harshly. I personally would never get my company name tattooed on me. That's insane. He's taking on Trey. I don't know why the fuck I just spoke about that for so long. Sam Patterson, very good. Coming out of a win over, what's his name? Danny Barlow. Right hand to God. To the letter, by the way. Right hand to God, Danny Barlow. I feel like that was a pretty close fight up until it was round one. But if I remember, Sam Patterson was a little bit hesitant to enter because of the right hand of Danny Barlow. It's very powerful. But he ended up clipping Danny Barlow maybe 2 minutes into the round, hurt him badly, and put him out. Sam Patterson's good, man. And he's tall. He's lanky. Trey Waters is taller. How are you 6'3" and have a smaller 6'5" and have a smaller reach than a dude who's 6'3"? I don't know. They have the same size torso, I guess, or I don't fucking know. I'm not trying to break this down like that. Can I be honest with you? Who is Trey Waters? Dude, he beat the guy from Peacemaker and Josh Quinlan. Sam Patterson's going to win this fight. Sam Patterson's criminally underrated. I like Sam Patterson a lot. That said, he's very lanky. He's very tall. So maybe fighting a guy who's a little bit taller than him would pose a threat. But again, Sam Patterson still has a reach advantage. He's almost if his legs were taller and his torso was short, he'd be welterweight Sean Woodson. But yeah, I'm going to go with Sam Patterson to win this fight. I trust in Sam Patterson a lot. I'm a big fan of him, and he's been pretty solid since going up to welterweight. I believe he used to fight at lightweight. And he was losing. Let's see. Yeah, now Ash Moose. What was this? Yeah, lightweight. So he used to fight at lightweight. He was losing, moves up to welterweight, and has been winning ever since. Beat Kiefer Crosby. Love to see it. Kiefer Crosby L is phenomenal in my eyes. I'm on the Kiefer Crosby hate watch. And you should be too. Next fight of the night. If my theory is correct, and I don't know if it was, it's probably very disprovable, but I believe that this fight was originally supposed to be on the main card when it was for SZM versus Kaue Fernandes. I feel like that would be a main card fight. For SCM is a pretty big name, especially if you're big into MMA. You know for SCM, he's very good. Fressiam had to pull out because his grandma died. Kaue Fernandes, I think he kind of sucks. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like he's a bit of a can. He's taking on Harry Hardwick, who's making his debut. CFFC or CWFC, Cage Warriors maybe? I think he's Cage Warriors champion. He could be Cage... What's the other one? What's CFFC? Cage Fury? I don't remember. I'm going to say Harry Hardwick to win this fight. Kaue Fernandes is just not that good, but don't take my word on this one at all. Dude's got 0-inch reach and 0-inch legs reach, so I've made that joke before. Next fight, Marcin Tybura. He's taking on Ante Delija. Delia? Croatian. Marcin Tybura. Didn't he rob his last opponent? Or did he get robbed by his last opponent? There was a stretch there where every single heavyweight fight was a robbery. There was like 2 weeks. Yeah, he robbed Mick Parkin. I forget. I think he robbed Mick Parkin in his last fight. Ante Delija. Who the fuck is that guy? Never fought in UFC before. Awesome to see. Love it. Marcin Tybura is going to win this fight because we cannot be putting unranked heavyweights against ranked fighters. We've just seen what happened with, what's that dude, Brochecha? And then they cut the dude who beat him because he was supposed to be a big name and got mauled. Marcin Tybura is going to win this fight. Next fight. Umar C. versus Brenson Ribeiro. Umar C., his last fight was very pathetic. It was his first loss. I'm interested to see how he bounces back from this. He kind of, I feel like he got mauled. It wasn't that exciting. He's known for having crazy knockout power. Brenson Ribeiro, I think, is coming off of a loss at heavyweight by knockout. So the power of Umar C might work out here. I don't know what the odds are. Doesn't say. But again, we have to see the mentality of Umar C and how the power matches up against, yes, he got knocked out by Azamat Mirzakhanov at heavyweight. So I'm very interested to see how the chin of Brenson Ribeiro holds up. Didn't he also get, is this a different person? Didn't he also get knocked out in the fight before that as well? No. Okay. Who did Dustin Jacoby last knockout? Oh, Vitor Petrino. My fault. Mixed them up. Maybe Brenson Ribeiro didn't fight at heavyweight. Am I bugging? I think so. Yes, I am. Never mind. Didn't go to heavyweight. Still got knocked out in his last fight. Umar C has crazy power. I think I will take Umar C in this fight. He's got the reach advantage, got the height advantage, big leg reach advantage. I'm going to go with Umar C to bounce back after his first professional loss and knock out Brenson Ribeiro at some point. But again, he might be like, I don't know, he's French and he's fighting his home country. Maybe he'll have the hometown crowd support him and he'll do some crazy shit. Next fight. How is this? Okay. I know this was supposed to headline the prelims. How is this going to head? How the fuck is this headlining a prelim? William Gomez versus Robert Ruchala. The only thing I remember William Gomez for is losing last time they were in France. Lost to Hyder Emil. Beat Joe Anderson Brito. Oh, maybe he won that fight, but I feel like he got robbed in that fight. That's also the fight that Joe Anderson Brito oil checked him. He lost to Hyder Emil. Hyder Emil's pretty good. Two split decisions in a row, by the way, for William Gomez. He's taking on some dude I've never heard of, Robert Ruchala, another Poland individual. I almost said a word. This was supposed to headline the prelims. As I said earlier, we're going to talk about when we get to the main card. Losene Keita was supposed to fight Patricio Pitbull, which, by the way, opens the main card below Rhys McKee. Below Skeletor, bro. Opens the card. Pitbull. Patricio Pitbull. Below 1-4 in the UFC, Rhys McKee. We're going to rant when we get here as well. It's up next as well. I don't know if I gave a pick for that last fight. William Gomez going to win against a debutant. Losene Keita, making his UFC debut, coming over from, it's not KSW, it's the other one. Octagon, I think. Double champion in Octagon, making his way to the UFC. Big name, very important for his career. You know, if he does well here, he's going to be making, I know he probably makes big money in Octagon, to be fair, but he was probably going to make big money here. Maybe would have got, like, you know, title contention if he beat Pitbull, which he probably would have. Misses weight by 4 pounds. He Brian battled featherweight division. How are you going to, in your debut in the UFC, you're a big name, coming over, fighting another big name in Patricio Pitbull, and you miss weight by 4 pounds? What a moron, dude. What a loser. Losene Keita. Dumb joke, my bad. Next fight. Axel Sola, the debutant. My main card, we are on the main card, by the way, of UFC, not an Apex card, UFC Paris. We are on the main card of UFC Paris. And on the main card is debuting Axel Sola versus 1-4 in the UFC, Rhys McKee. There's 4 fights above this. There's 4 fights above this card. There's 3 fights before the main event. And it's 1-4 in the UFC, Rhys McKee. He is coming off of a win. He's coming off a nice win over a fucking can, bro. Who did he last beat? Who the fuck is Frunza? That's what I'm saying. Lost to Chidi Njokuani. Lost to Ange Lusa. Lost to Alex Morono. Okay, Hamzat loss isn't bad. Honestly, Chidi Njokuani isn't bad. Ange Lusa? Alex Morono? He is 1-4 in the UFC. And his one win is over Frunza, who's 0-1 in the UFC. I've literally, do not remember this guy at all. It was a doctor stoppage as well. He didn't even finish the guy. The doctor stepped in. This is on the main card in a 2025. Could have been a pay-per-view, by the way. Cyril Gahn. If you weren't filming your movie, you could have headlined UFC France against Tom Aspinall. But because you want to go and be a movie star and not train, we have Rhys McKee, who's 1-4 in the UFC on the main card. You're a disgrace to your country. That's so mean. That is so mean. Rhys McKee's probably going to win that. No, he's not. Who am I kidding? Axel Sola, making his debut, going to beat Rhys McKee, who's 1-4 in the UFC. Lost to Alex Morono. Lost to Alex Morono. Lost to Ange Lusa in 2023. I'm unimpressed, if you can't tell. Let's come down a little bit. Bolaji taking on Mason Jones. Mason Jones, terrorist. Not really. He had a pretty good fight against Jeremy Stevens. There we go. Fought Jeremy Stevens in his last fight. Big power, Jeremy Stevens, but he had been at BKFC. By the way, going back to BKFC, he got signed for a 1-fight contract against Mason Jones. But beat Jeremy Stevens. Kind of terrorism in the last round. I'm not going to lie. It was a little bit grounds for terrorism, but the first 2 were pretty good, so we can't hold him that bad. It wasn't that crazy of a fight. It wasn't that good of a fight, though. I'm not, like, saying it wasn't, like, you have to watch this fight. Honestly, probably don't. He's fighting Bolaji. Bolaji, big power. Big name. Couldn't tell you who he last fought, I'm not going to lie, but he is a very powerful man, and I think he will win this fight. But, again, we just seen how Mason Jones goes up against a big power guy. Low-key. No odds. I'm going with Mason Jones to win this fight. I think that Mason Jones will win this fight by decision. No, who the fuck am I kidding? Bolaji mad good, bro. He beat... What's that guy? It's like Duncan as well or something. Michael as well. There it is. I like both of these guys. Not the biggest on Mason Jones, but I like Bolaji. I think Mason Jones is going to wrestle fuck him, and it's going to be a decision, pretty boring fight. I'm going Mason Jones here. Don't know why I'm still on this fight. I'm not going to lie. Next fight. Featured fight, by the way. Featured fight in Paris, France. Lithuanian Modestas Bukauskas versus Scottish Paul Craig. Featured fight in Paris, France. What a joke of a card. What a joke of a card. We're going into the greatest months of the year. October, December, looking very good. What's November? October and December looking very good. This card is a joke. And I'll tell you why. This is my leading theory. This entire month is not about the UFC for Dana White and for TKO. This entire month is about Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. They don't give a fuck about MMA this entire month. This card is a joke. Could have been a pay-per-view, but they don't want to compete with buys with TKO boxing. So they're putting on dog shit cards. They're putting on horrible feature fight in Paris, France, not in the Apex. Modestas Bukauskas versus Paul Craig. Careful, Modestas. You might get herpes. All right? We are on herpes watch in UFC. Adolfo Bolato brought it in. Paul Craig obtained it from him. Now Modestas Bukauskas is getting herpes. We are on herpes watch in the UFC. What the fuck am I talking about? Anyways, Paul Craig, amazing jiu-jitsu specialist. Not that good on the feet. Modestas Bukauskas, pretty big power. Kind of boring, honestly, and kind of washed. I'm not going to lie. I think Paul Craig will win this fight by submission. Paul Craig in his last fight, by the way, upkicked Adolfo Bolato in their rematch because their first fight was called off due to herpes. Well, I guess not their rematch, their first fight then. It was canceled due to herpes the day before the fight. Second fight happens. Paul Craig throws an illegal upkick. Now, I'm not vouching for an illegal upkick. It's against the rules. Everybody knows it's against the rules. However, I'm at the end of the year, by the way, when I do my MMA awards, we're giving an Oscar. He is receiving the Oscar of the year because that was the best acting performance I've ever seen. Maybe ever. He did better than Tobey Maguire in that one movie about him screaming at his wife. Haven't seen it. He did better than... What's like the best acting thing ever? I don't even know. I gotta look into this more for this joke to work. Watch for this video. End of the year. I think there's 2 weeks off in the end of the year, so expect it in those 2 weeks, maybe on Christmas time. I'll be gifting these fighters... Oh! Never mind. I will be gifting these fighters awards based on how well they did in the year. And Adolfo Bolato is receiving the Oscar as of right now. Anyways, Modestas Bukauskas, if you get an upkick, buddy, you might have the chance to change that. Paul Craig going to win this fight by submission. I don't think Modestas is like crazy good. He got head kicked, by the way, in the pocket by somebody. I don't remember. I thought it was Ihor Portiere, but it wasn't. Anyways. Next fight, Benoît Saint Denis. Shout out bedtime, Benoît Scam Denis versus Mauricio Ruffy, the fighting nerd. Co-main event, actually a heater. BSD sucks. BSD, the Lucas Tracy hype train on BSD has to be studied. Lucas Tracy had the world believing that Benoît Saint Denis was the next coming of Christ. Lucas Tracy had the world believing that Benoît Saint Denis was going to be Islam Makhachev. This dude is horrible. By the way, the reason he had this hype is from knocking out Matt Frivola. The steamroller. Knocked him out, I think in round 1. It was a very beautiful knockout. The glaze that BSD was getting from this is beyond me. After that fight, he fought Dustin Poirier, by the way. Matt Frivola to Dustin Poirier pipeline. Gets knocked out bad by Dustin Poirier. Next fight, Renato Moicano. How bad is Benoît Saint Denis? Renato Moicano, I don't even remember if it was the first round or the second round, gets Benoît on the ground, and he looked like he had been stung by 1,000 bees. Pull up the pic, maybe. Actually, probably don't, because we might have to, it's really bad. It's really, gross. But look it up if you want. Second on Mauricio Ruffy. Mauricio Ruffy, I think he might be my favorite fighting nerd. And I was speaking with some friends about this recently. We were kind of on the Ruffy hate train because he struggled, in quotes, because I'm going to talk about this, against James Lontop. Did he, though? You know? We were all saying, yeah, he struggled against James Lontop. But I don't think he did actually struggle. He was kind of stunting on James Lontop the entire fight. He took him to a decision, ended up winning the decision, but he was stunting on him. He hit the YY no-look reload headshot, dude. He threw this, it's like a crazy, he enters the pocket and then turns this way. And as he's turning, throws a hook and doesn't even look. And it lands clean on the draw and drops James Lontop. He was playing with his food that entire fight. This is the conclusion I've come to, because I've not rewatched it, but I've really thought about it. He was playing with his food. He didn't struggle against James Lontop. It wasn't a close 29-28 decision. He mauled James Lontop on the feet. He was just playing with his food, showing out how much fun he can have. I don't remember if it was this fight or his debut, by the way, the Lontop fight, where he comes out, I think it was the beginning of the first round, comes out and slide cancels and trips his opponent backwards. It was crazy. Ruffy's very fun to watch. He's very slick, very quick, very he's fluid is how I would describe him. He's very fluid in the octagon. He's just moves so smoothly. It's not rigid. It's not pressing your body to do something unnatural. Everything he does seems so in motion with everything else. It's beautiful to watch him fight. He's coming off of a spinning back. Why am I lisping? He's coming off of a spinning wheel kick knockout over Bobby Green. Not calling you king. Can I say something, though? To this day, I don't think that connected. I don't think that landed to this day. I've seen so many replays from so many angles. I don't think it connected. I want to watch this in 0.05 speed. You can't even see it on the broadcast because the camera, what were they doing? You see Ruffy throw it, and then it looks like he throws it, and then Bobby Green moves over to the side, and then he just keeps moving, and he falls down, and he's knocked out cold, by the way, flatlined. I've never seen this strike connect. I've seen the actual, I've seen it connect against other people, but I mean, for this specific knockout, I'm yet to see a video of it connecting. I don't understand how it put him out. It looks like he kicks over his head. It looks like he misses just barely over his head. And then he goes out. I don't know. It's crazy. Anyways, Ruffy going to win this fight. BSD's a fucking can. He's horrible. Mauricio Ruffy, potential future champion at lightweight. Not going to lie. Final fight. Main event of the evening. Nasruddin Imavov is taking on Kaue Borralho, or Kaue Borralho, if you want to say it correctly, but I don't. This is a banger fight. Kaue Borralho, worst fighting nerd there is. And I mean of the big four. I mean of Borralho, Ruffy, Prates, and Silva. He's the worst. He's not worse than, like... Honestly, I think he might be worse than Karine Silva as well, eh? I don't think he's worse than Bruno Brazil, though. And I don't know. I'm interested to see how I would compare him in my mind. I'm going to do a... No, I'm not. I'm not going to do a video on this, but I'm just trying to think, is he better than Mikhail Zajic? I don't think so. He's just a bit more... He's not as fun to watch as the other guys. The rest of them are very flashy, put on good shows. Borralho is... He's just not as fun. He's more technical. He's less fluid. He's like the opposite fighting nerd to Mauricio Ruffy. He's just not as fluid. He's taking on Imavov, who's very fast, very powerful, just knocked out Israel Adesanya. I kind of don't like this fight for Borralho. Although I did see his takedown, his double leg, is 8% slower than Khamzat Chimaev's. I saw, I think it's called the Octagon Oracle on Instagram. They post actually very good videos. And they post like betting stuff as well. They post good videos about just breaking down fights. Imavov's a lot quicker, like 30% or 40% quicker than Borralho, but Borralho has the same takedown speed, minus 8%, as Khamzat Chimaev. So it could be a Borralho wrestlefuck. Maybe like gets Nasruddin tired. This is a 5-round fight. Maybe he gets him tired. I don't know. No. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if it's Imavov's first 5-rounder. It's not. He fought Izzy in 5 rounds, but he didn't go 5 rounds. Borralho's been 5 rounds. So he might like wrestlefuck him for the first 3 rounds and try and tire out Imavov. He was talking about it on the Kamaru and Henry show, pound for pound. I think that this is a good game plan for him. Tire out Imavov. Just like maul him. You know, maul him for the first 3 rounds. Round 4 and 5, look to finish. I also am interested, and I think I want to see how Kaue's mentality is after this fight. I think he will lose. I'm going to say Nasruddin Imavov by a knockout. Nah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. He might finish him, man. I'm interested to see how Borralho's mentality is after this fight. Because, again, another thing he was talking about on the Kamaru and Henry show. He said he wants to be UFC champion by the end of 2025. And he's been saying this since his UFC debut. You can go back and watch the post-fight interview. This is like something that he has in his mind. By the end of 2025, he will be UFC middleweight champion. Khamzat's not fighting till 2026, bud. Khamzat's not fighting in December. He can. He just doesn't want to because he's Kadirov's bitch. So even if he wins this fight, I want to see how his mentality is. He seems so set in stone in this idea that he will be UFC champion by end of 2025. I want to see him. He's going to have to grapple with the fact that that's not happening. And he said on Kamaru and Henry, he still believes to his heart that this is the truth. He will be champion by end of 2025. It's not happening. I don't even think he's going to win this fight. So I'm interested to see how his mentality is after this fight going into his next one. Even if he wins, he's still, like, his mentality will be broken, I think. He will be mentally broken before the Khamzat fight even takes place. Because he is not champion by end of 2025. I hate to see him talk like that because it just gives me this idea that he's just not there. He's just not going to be there, I should say. his mental is going to be shot. He is not going to know what to think. So, I don't know. Anyways, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please consider that like and subscribe button, as it does really support my channel. Also, if you want to see more like this, I post news videos every single week. I post prediction videos every single week. There wasn't one last week because there was no UFC last week, but I did fill it in with a tier list video of the best stroke game in the UFC. So I would highly suggest that you go ahead and watch that, as it is a pretty funny video. I do some pretty good impressions. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.